Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a filing from Auburn National Bancorporation, and let me tell you, this one's about as exciting as watching paint dry. Unless you're really into liability waivers for corporate officers, get ready to uncover the surprisingly interesting ins and outs of officer liability. Before we jump in, if you're keen on getting straightforward insights from corporate filings, subscribe. We've also got a Discord community linked in the description where you can chat with fellow finance fans. So Auburn National Bancorporation filed this 8K form on July 2, 2025, reporting an event that happened the day before on July 1st, 2025. An 8K form is used to report major events that shareholders should know about. The main point of this filing is about an amendment, that is, a change that was made to the company's certificate of incorporation. Think of it like an official document that lays out the rules for how the company is run. The shareholders, that is, the people who own the company's stocks, voted on this change back in May of 2025. At their annual meeting, the change was to limit how much the company's officers can be held personally responsible for certain things that might go wrong. If you want a really detailed explanation of what this all means, the company included in their proxy statement, which they filed back in April of 2025. A proxy statement is like a guidebook for shareholders explaining what they're voting on. Now, you don't need to read that whole document because that's what I'm here for. What matters is that this change, called the Certificate of Amendment, became official on July 3rd, 2025, when it was filed with the government in Delaware, which is where the company is officially located. So here's the deal with limiting officer liability. Basically, it means that the company's executives can't be sued personally for every little mistake they might make while doing their jobs. There might still be some scenarios in which they can be sued, like if they break the law, but only in instances where that occurs. This change is allowed by a law called the Delaware General Corporation Law, so it's perfectly legal. Why do companies do this? Well, think about it this way. Would you want to be a CEO if you could get sued every time something went wrong, even if it wasn't really your fault? Probably not. Limiting liability or responsibility makes it easier to attract and keep good leaders. This limitation encourages people to serve as officers and directors by reducing their personal risk. If you're curious about the exact wording of this certificate of amendment, it's included as Exhibit 3.1 to this report, so you can read it all there. Exhibit 104 contains XBRL data. This is basically structured data that makes it easier to analyze the report using computers. Finally, this report is signed by David A. Hedges, the president and CEO of Auburn National Bancorporation. So, you know it's official. Now let's zoom out and think about what this all means for Auburn National Bancorporation. On the one hand, limiting officer liability could make the company more attractive to talented executives. It can also reduce their insurance cost. On the other hand, some people might worry that it could make officers less careful, since they're not as worried about getting sued. However, there are still rules in place to keep this in check. Overall, this change seems fairly routine. Many companies take advantage of these types of liability limitations, and it's unlikely to have a huge impact on Auburn National Bancorporation's business. But it's still important to understand what's going on behind the scenes, especially if you're an investor. Alright, we made it to the end. Hopefully this video helped explain what these corporate filings are all about. So what do you think about all of this? Do you think limiting officer liability is a good thing, or does it create too much risk? Drop your comments below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate decoder action, and don't forget to check out our Discord community in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.